Well, there's a few movies, a handful, that if you study those movies, you will become a legendary human. One of them is called This is Spinal Tap. And it is a mockumentary about a fake heavy metal band called Spinal Tap. They recently came out with Spinal Tap 2, which is not as groundbreaking as Spinal Tap 1, but fun nonetheless. Anyways, there's a scene in the movie where the fake guitar player, whose character name is Nigel Tufnell, is backstage, and they're spoofing rock stars. And there's a platter of food put out for them to have snacks and yummies before the show. And he's standing in front of said platter, and he's clearly, visibly upset, as if someone has just told him the most horrible thing in his life the most horrible injustice has just happened to him in life. And his manager can see that he's upset. And the manager comes over, and it's, before the show, he wants them to be in a good mindset, comes over and says, Nigel, what's wrong? And he says, look at this. Look, I got this little weird bread over here, and then I got this meat over here, and I'm trying to make a sandwich, and the bread and the meat don't fit together. They're not the right size, and then I got to, what's this over here? And I got to fold this over here. And he goes on and on about this insanity with the size of the bread and the meat. And then he looks at the manager and he says, what I have is this, and what I want is that. And he tries to explain to Nigel that it's okay and so forth and so on. We'll fix it for the next show. And Nigel responds with, it's all right. It's fine. I'm a professional. I'll rise above it. So there's all these moments in our lives where we have this and we want that. And we need to be a professional and rise above it. And so there are some people who come to the academy with, let's say, a healthy dissatisfaction with where they are, which is a very powerful thing when you think about it. Legendary category designers have a healthy disrespect for the status quo. And if you're somebody who wants to produce a breakthrough in your life, a healthy disrespect for where you are now in the context with where you could be is actually healthy if you view it from the right lens. And so, with all that said, if you feel either stuck, or maybe you've plateaued, or maybe you're here and you want to be there and you need to be a professional, but you don't know how to traverse that, and you've tried a bunch of things to go from here to there, and you're not breaking through the way you wish you would. If you're in anything like that, the Category Design Academy is water in the desert.
For those of you who are here and you want to be there, one thing that I'll mention is read our stuff on the big strategy line. One of the things that people talk about is strategy is complicated. It's very academic. I can't do it. It's intimidating. None of that's true. Strategy is very simply three things. Where am I today? Where do I want to be tomorrow? And what's a credible and easy way of getting there? And that in that regard, that describes this situation. I'm here and I want to be there, right? And you're looking for a strategy. You might be thinking, I know the first two, here's where I am and I want to go there. How do I credibly get there? And for some portion of the Academy Pirates, that's absolutely what we work on. For other portions of the Academy Pirates, we'll say, got it, you're here and you want to go there, but maybe you want to go in the opposite direction. Maybe there is not exactly where you want to be. Maybe there is the competition derangement syndrome. Maybe there is, you know what? That's different, but it's another good. And you want to go up on Joe Pine scale to a service or an experience or a transformation. Sometimes you may not be certain that there is where you actually want to be. So I would say call it a third of the Academy Pirates are, I'm here, I want to go there. And we say, yay, verily, we agree with you. Here's how to credibly get there. Here's a baby step and here's a big step. Do the baby steps until you get to the big steps. We're going to cheer you on along the way. And they make progress and they get there and it's super exciting. But for a third of you, it might be, there ain't where you want to be. There ain't that exciting. We have been there and done that. You want to go in this direction or somewhere else or something else that you had not considered beforehand. And that's the value. And sometimes the future state that you want is not right, comes from us. Sometimes it comes from your peers, or sometimes it comes from you in talking with the people in the jam session. You're like, hey, maybe I don't want to actually go there. And then for a third of the people, what's actually kind of funny is I'm here and I want to go there. And how do I credibly get there? And we say, are you sure you know where you are? And they say, what do you mean? Like, Well, you think you're here, but it's actually, you're in the right place. Let me turn you 90 degrees so that you can actually see where you are, right? Maybe you were facing the wall and you don't see the waterfront view in front of you. And that here might be a magical place that you actually should be. And maybe you just need to frame, name, and claim it differently, use different words to describe where you are. And you might say, wow, that's a lot more appealing than I thought. Or maybe it's you need to write about where you are in a Substack. Maybe it's you need to create your own community about where you are. And that where you are might actually be where you want to be, because as the famous Tom Schwab tells us, what's ordinary to you is extraordinary to others. And that you may not have a full appreciation for what it is. And so I would say that I'm going to reject the premise of I'm here, I want to go there. How do I get there? Is the academy right for me? We're not actually sure. Sometimes you might be right and we'll help you get there with a clear and credible way. Sometimes we might change your direction for let's point in this direction and not that direction. And sometimes we might tell you you're in the catbird seat and where you are is exactly where you want to be. Just look at it differently, use different words, or do different things about where you are to make it legendary.